Hello and welcome to the channel. Anyone that thinks, even for a second, even the man himself, that Buhari had done admirably during his 8 years is not only delusional, but the bar of leadership in Nigeria had been set so low that you will think there is anything remotely good about the last 8 years. 8 years of unmitigated failure. There are so many adjectives to describe Buhari's role, and none of them good. Let's get on with it, shall we? Subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you. Good riddance, Buhari. You came, you saw, you failed woefully. Muhammadu Buhari, President of Nigeria since 2015, will leave office on Monday, May 29, after 8 disastrous years. The late Chief Bola Ige famously coined the phrase "good riddance to bad rubbish." That, truth be told, is the best way to describe the exit of Buhari, his presidency, and his government from power. The past 8 years of Buhari's administration have been an unmitigated failure, a monumental waste of time, of resources, and of the hopes and aspirations of a nation and a people. True stewardship is leaving a place better than one found it, but Buhari is leaving Nigeria far worse than he found it in 2015. On any metric, Nigeria sunk deeper into an abyss under Buhari. Without a doubt, he is the worst civilian leader Nigeria has so far. No previous civilian president showed such aloofness, such indifference, such arrogance, and such utter lack of competence and vision in governing Nigeria. None. Before becoming president in 2015, Buhari had been a military head of state, but he was so calamitous that his colleagues removed him from power within 20 months. Yet, he enjoyed the privileges of a former head of state, the highest national honor, GCFR, permanent membership of the Council of State, numerous financial and other material benefits, and the prestige of being treated as an institution. So, what else did Buhari want? Why did he want to inflict himself on Nigeria as president, despite his irredeemable leadership flaws and acute intellectual weakness? After his failed military regime, Buhari's consuming passion was to become a civilian president, but he did nothing to improve himself intellectually, nothing to develop a vision of governance, a vision for Nigeria. Indeed, according to the late Junaid Mohammed, an ally turned critic, Buhari never read a book in his adult life. Yet, such an intellectually lazy person wanted desperately to be Nigeria's president. So desperate, in fact, he entered into a Faustian pact to achieve the selfish, inordinate ambition. Buhari ran for president 3 times and failed. After the third attempt, he wept on national television. Bola Tinubu's immortal words, "I told him, don't cry, you will contest and win." But Tinubu had his prize. If he helped Buhari to become president, Buhari would, once in power, help him to become president. Both traded the presidency of Nigeria between each other on the altar of personal ambitions. In 1984, Buhari jailed Tinubu's ally, BC Akande, for 42 years for unlawful enrichment of his party. If 2015 were 1984, Buhari would have jailed Tinubu for hundreds of years for far worse, state capture, unexplained and inexplicable wealth. But no, 2015 was not 1984. In the intervening years, Buhari had become a politician and desperately wanted to be president. His famed no-nonsense anti-graft zeal as a military ruler had gone, and he was willing to make a pact with the devil and sell his soul. That's how he became president. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and please turn the notification bell on. Thank you. But if someone was so desperate to be president and willing to compromise his values and fraternize with those he would have jailed for corruption in another dispensation, he must be pursuing power for power's sake. And truth is, power was an end in itself for Buhari. Otherwise, Why was there no fidelity between what he promised when seeking power in 2015 and what he did after gaining power? Take the seemingly mundane trappings of power. Buhari had a reputation for asceticism and frugality with money, but as president became utterly profligate, spending like a drunken sailor, including on wasteful overseas trips. Buhari vowed to sell off some presidential jets, but bought more and spent billions annually to maintain them. Buhari said his wife won't be called First Lady, yet created the office of First Lady and lavishly resourced it. Recently, Buhari gloated, "I got all I wanted, of course he did, for himself, his family, his cronies and his party. But what about Nigeria? What about majority of Nigerians? With 77 trillion naira or $42 billion debt, 22% inflation and just 1.4% growth, Nigeria is economically worse under Buhari, with 63,111 killed since 2015, 133 million multidimensionally poor and nearly 60% youth unemployment. Nigerians are socio-economically worse. Indeed, under Buhari, Nigeria became the poverty capital of the world. Yet, despite his abysmal failure, Buhari craved praise singing, basked in dishonest adulation. Last week, 2 books were launched to honor Buhari. One by Anthony Goldman, one-time Africa editor of Financial Times, is titled State of Repair: How Muhammadu Buhari Tried to Change Nigeria for Good. The author couldn't bring himself to say Buhari changed Nigeria, but tried to, which is even false. But if Buhari hired a former Africa editor of the FT to burnish his image, what does the newspaper's current Africa editor think of him? In a scathing article titled, "What is Nigeria's Government For?", David Pilling pilloried Buhari, on whose somnolent watch Nigeria sleepwalked closer to disaster. Well, not for Abu Ibrahim, a former senator who wrote the second book, a hagiography titled The Legacy of Muhammadu Buhari. But what legacy? Buhari promised to tackle insecurity, fix the economy, and give corruption a bloody nose. He failed woefully. His government bungled the currency redesign and conducted a sham presidential election. So what legacy? What about infrastructure, some ask? But only the economically illiterate will hail infrastructure funded entirely with debts still payable decades after the roads, rails, ports, etc. have become decrepit, with over 95% debt service to revenue ratio. So, as Buhari exits power on Monday, he leaves behind a far less secure, stable, united and prosperous country. That's the legacy of his presidency, of 8 wasted years. Good riddance, indeed. That's the news, guys. Thanks for listening. Until next time, bye.